What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? What's going on? Welcome into the Chiefs Report live show. My name is Jace Andrews, and I'm excited you're here joining us today. And the first thing I got to ask you, it's game week. Who you got? Kansas City back in Arrowhead taking on the Chicago Bears. If you got the Chiefs, type KC, and if you got the Bears, type CHI. I see DJ in the chat. I see Tony Fuentes. I see John Carpenter and Tim Carr spamming that KC. I want everybody in there. If you're in the chat, if you're in the live stream, spam KC. As we all know who's got the game this upcoming Sunday. Sky Blue, Trey King, Pravelis the Red, Robert, Puppy Lover, Paul Amos, everybody in the chat. Tim Carr, Craig, everybody. Type it out, KC. Tony Fuentes, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you, Tony Fuentes? How are you? James, KC. Nick Black with KC. Casper, all spamming the KCs. And Jetta? And Jeanette, maybe? Let me know if I'm saying that. Charles, Puppy Lover, Tim Carr, Sheldon, and Alfred, all in the chat, spamming KC. Well, super glad y'all all here to join us. And before we get into anything else, I need you to welcome in our producer today, Sam Brown, producer Sam, who is back. He survived the watch
onslaught.
Party.
The onslaught.
Yeah, the onslaught, yeah.
People were coming at my head after the watch party.
Including
we
me.
Had some technical difficulties that suddenly became my fault. But hey, we're back at it. Suddenly. Somehow. I don't, like I said, it's not on me. I'm not going to look to explain
Really,
that.
really. How's it not on you?
Huh?
How's it not on you?
It was technology. It's the bots. It's AI is who I blame, really. More than anything, it's the robots and the people that are letting them take over the world. We had tech difficulties, and now we don't. So I get to keep my job just one more week at least.
Yeah, don't mess up today.
No chance. What's up, Dale? Happy to see you. Glad to be back on the show. We can get a little party going. Maybe get some super chats. We can get the party going. But happy to talk some Chiefs again today.
All right. Where are you watching from? I want you to shout out your city. Get in the chat if you're not over there. Tell me where you're watching today's live show from. I got to know where all of our Chiefs Report family is popping out today, as we got some interesting topics. But before that, let me know where you're watching from. Anjanette from Kansas City, Kansas. Tim Carr from Columbia. Nick Black from Lynchfield, Ohio. DJ from Hagerstown, Maryland. Jonathan White. I think that's how it is. Wichita, Kansas. T-Wash from Miami. Arkansas City, Kansas City. Is that?
Arkansas City, Kansas is...
Kansas, yeah, not Kansas City. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
I was going to say, that one seems like he's trying to prank you, but
Robert.
I wouldn't also put it past him.
QB Dimes from Ohio. Too bad there's nobody QB. So
I can confirm. Arkansas City, Kansas is the real deal.
Wow. All right. We got QB Dimes 22 in Ohio, even though there are no QBs there who can throw dimes. Charles with the Buckeye State. Also, know where that is. Ohio. Looks like y'all should link up. Tony Fuentes and Dallas. Trey King, Indianapolis.
Hey, we're in Dallas right now.
We're in Dallas. Really?
That's a great
point.
Shout out to Tony. That's a good city to be in.
Casper from Denmark. Hey, how you doing, Casper? Long way. We're right there. Paul from, Tonganoxie, Kansas. I think I've had that one before, and I think I said it wrong. Mike Meadows from Philly.
Kansas. My family's from Oklahoma, and I went to OU. And Kansas, I feel like, is similar to OU or Oklahoma a little bit. There's those random city names that you just like, too, having been to OSU.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry you had to go to Oklahoma, by the way.
I'm sorry you had to go to Oklahoma State. That's life, but
it's tough.
There's some tough city names.
Yeah, like Norman. Chief Marcus from Neuwied, near Cologne, Germany. Well, how you doing, Chief Marcus? Glad you joined in. Young Craze from Denver, Colorado. And then last one here, Craig from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. All right, well, you probably saw it in the title. You probably saw it in the thumbnail. Let me ask you right away. Should the Chiefs trade for Tee Higgins? There's some rumors swirling around that the Chiefs are favorites to land him in the offseason. Could they trade for him now? The freaking Bengals are 0-2. If they start going downhill, they know they're not going to sign him again. Would they just trade him to the Chiefs? Would you want him? Type Y for yes, type N for no. It's the pinned comment right now. And you can put it in the chat as well, but make sure you vote right now. We got 81% for yes. And a lot of Y's coming in from Tony Fuentes. We got Tim Carr saying hell no. And then Casper Thompson with a Y. Pravis with a Y. Tim Carr's got the N in there. And then David with the M. I think you mean N. I think that's what I was trying to do. Chief Marcus with the Y. And then Michael Thompson says the Chiefs need Higgins. I mean, this wide receiver room was close, so I don't know about that.
I think the question also comes with, a little bit of a caveat because you're trading for Tee Higgins, then you're going to have to pay Tee Higgins. Yeah. So it really winds up being,
paid Patrick.
Should the Chiefs trade and pay Tee Higgins?
Yeah, or you just, yeah.
But I think you know that going into it. Yeah. You know that going into it, and he's good enough of a player where there should still be plenty of whys anyways.
I think at some point, though, if you're getting down to the wire and you're thinking, all right, we can get ourselves a clear wide receiver one, which, by the way, Higgins has looked better than Jamar Chase this year. I mean, I know we're 2 games in, but Higgins has looked better than Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he had a clunker in the first game, got targeted a bunch, and wasn't able to reel one in. But week 2 was clearly the best wide receiver for the Bengals, and Jamar Chase has been a little bottled up. I guess the bar is set so high for him that.
And it's tough to do when you have Joe Burrow throwing. Do you have the time, especially this year's Joe Burrow?
That calf injury is not looking good for Cincinnati,
paycheck
which is great for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Joe Burrow as a person, great. Joe Burrow on the Chiefs, not a chance. Joe Burrow on the Bengals, yeah, no, not a chance. I don't like him at all. Don't like the Bengals, to be honest. All right, well, we got a bunch of Ys, got a bunch of Ns. Let's go to maybe another topic, and we'll kind of get into all these throughout the show, but I want to start talking about this week's upcoming game and the Bears coming into town to take on the Chiefs. How many points do you expect from the Chiefs this Sunday? The Bears, I'll put it lightly. They're struggling. They're 0-2. Lost against the Packers with Jordan Love and the Bucs with Baker Mayfield. The Bucs are good. Packers, yet to be determined. I expect a big point onslaught because the offense has not been doing a lot, and I kind of want to see them put up at least 24 points, if not more. Let's see what y'all think. We got QB Dimes going in here with 35. Chief Marcus with 38. QB Dimes says 42 now. Tony Fuentes, KC 38, Chicago 21. I'm kind of around that same area. I'll give you all my score later here on in the show, but I think I'm around that 38-point range for the Chiefs to get to. I think that's where they probably should with this offense and the way it's been kind of, I'm not going to say bad, the yardage has been fine, but they just haven't been able to score. They don't have as many points as they usually have. 37 points through 2 games, not exactly what you want or really expect from Patrick Mahomes and the rest of this squad. We got Paul with Kansas City with 39 and the Bears 20. We got a 40 coming in from Kansas City Chiefs, and he's saying 40-14. DJ says trade for Stephon Diggs. That's a little unlikely. Stephon is not really talked about on the trading block. Tee Higgins, a little more, but Stephon, I mean, I don't know. There is a little bit of a falling out there with the Bills. We got QB Dimes 38-14. Braden Perez with 35. So, yeah, I think a high-scoring game from the Chiefs is expected. I'm leaning around the 38-point range, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, well, kind of getting into what another topic in this show is going to be is questions from you. And the way to do that, we'll use hashtag Chiefs in the comments. If you have a question, just use hashtag Chiefs and then put in your actual question. Or you can super chat, and you're going to jump to the front of the line. It's like a fast pass. You can immediately be the first question we will answer here on the show. Just put it in the chat.
I always like to give the 60-second promise whenever it comes to super chats. As long as Jace stops talking, whenever I tell him to stop talking, I'll get your super chat on screen within 60 seconds of you sending it in.
That's pretty
good.
If
not, hashtag Chiefs, I'll get you in the quay, and maybe you'll get on the show.
In the quay?
Yes, that is correct. It is the quay. It's not the queue.
No.
It's not the queue.
Whoa. Can I have proof of this? This is mind-blowing.
It's the quay.
This is shattering.
This is a little bit of a rumor, maybe not a confirmed, actual pronunciation, but I like to call it the quay. It's not actually. It's the Q.
Okay, I was about to say, it's
the Q, but it's going to be the quay.
Q sounds a lot better, though.
Quay kind of rolls off the tongue, though. You want to get in the quay? Like if you've got like
that sounds like a slang term for like a bar or something.
No, if someone's on aux and you got a song request, be like, yeah, I'll toss it in the quay for you. That makes sense.
Q is like one letter, though.
Why
you got to make it complicated with quay?
Well, then why did they add an extra UE to begin with?
You know what? Let's aside this. If you think quay is better, then type. I don't know.
The way you're saying it makes it sound bad.
Okay, you say it then.
It's not quay.
Quay.
It's the quay.
Quay.
It's the quay.
Type Q if you think it's for Q. You don't think it's whatever he just said. I don't know. Type Y, I guess. I don't know. because Q is the right one. Just type Q, because that's the right way. It's the only way to say it. I don't know who put in your head that Quay.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's up for debate.
We already got 2 Qs. What? I've never heard that.
I mean, you guys can say, there we go. See, I think Michael Thompson is on my side saying Quay.
What?
But mostly it's Q. It's fine. It's fine. I'll die on this hill by myself. I've got no problem with that.
Not the first time you've done on a hill by yourself, I guess. DJ's got Q. Well, anyway, if you want a question, we saw a couple come in there. We'll get you in the later part of the show here. But use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and we're going to pop you on here immediately. It's pretty quick.
Charles, I see your question is in there, but you put a space bar after the hashtag. So that actually doesn't go through our system. Hashtag Chiefs, all one word.
There you go. So all one word, hashtag Chiefs. We'll get you on today's show. We're going to try and answer as many questions as possible, as we'll get to a bunch of those. We're going to give you a bunch of time to get your questions there, and you can pop in there. We'll pop up in the later part of the show. All right. I got to know from everybody watching on live, have you ever attended a game at Arrowhead Stadium? Because I want to know, and if you have attended a game at Arrowhead, type me. And let me know if you got any little story behind it. Type it. Tony Fuentes is gone. Paul Amos has gone. HFA Recon has gone. And then Tony Fuentes, Wolf Panda, Travis the Red has gone. Michael Thompson, Brandon Perez, Cliff Whistler. So, funny enough, Ryan Cook has gone. I've been to Arrowhead Stadium, but not during a game. Funny enough, not during a game. I went for the NFL draft this past year. And a bunch of my friends decided that we were going to go see Arrowhead Stadium. And so we went. And it was really cool. Went in, got to go to the gift shop area, but never got to see a game there. So, And then Rodney has been to a game. Tim Carr has been as well. So, cool there from a lot of guys again. Never been to a game there. I really want to, though, so hopefully.
I see Chief Marcus is in there saying he's going to go to Arrowhead Frankfurt whenever the Chiefs play later this season. That's got to be an experience. I can only imagine. Andy Reid at the Super Bowl last year would not stop talking about the food in Germany and how he was excited for the food in Germany. There were like all the rumors that Andy Reid might retire if the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl. And then he was like, oh, I muted myself. But then he was like, yeah, I can't make that up.
Man,
but then he was like, yeah, I can't.
Off to a good
he's
start.
like, I can't wait for all the food out there in Germany. And that's how you knew Andy Reid was going to be back next season.
Yeah. I got a couple of guys in there saying me. But yeah, Arrowhead's a really cool stadium. I got to be honest. I really want to go. But let's get into kind of today's show topics. The questions have kind of been leading up to it. But here's the 3 segments we're going to have for you today. We're going to talk the latest Chiefs news and rumors surrounding some potential trade targets. You kind of heard it. Tee Higgins, maybe a running back in there. And then we're going to talk about the Chiefs versus Bears preview. That game, kind of talk about the key players to watch for the Bears. What are the exact ways to victory for the Chiefs? And hopefully what could be a good game plan for Andy Reid and the rest of the Chiefs. And then the last one, I mentioned it, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. We're going to be answering your questions today. Use hashtag Chiefs in the chat. Again, all one, and we will answer your questions later on today's show. I think we're ready to get into it, so let's go into the first topic here with the news and trade targets. What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? As today we're going to be talking about the potential trade for Tee Higgins, as the Chiefs are the favorites to land Tee Higgins in the offseason, and there's a potential for Cam Akers trade as we're happy you chose to join us here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews, and again, if you want more Chiefs news, topics, rumors, well, subscribe to the channel at youtube.com/ChiefsTV, or the link is going to be in the description along with. You can press that little red subscribe button to get in on the Chiefs Report family. All right, let's dive into today's topic. I mentioned it, Tee Higgins. He's the first topic we're going to mention as T. Well, there's been reports over this past week that he was looking to be a potential guy for the Chiefs to land in the offseason, or maybe a trade right now. Well, the first one is the report we're going to start with, and that's the offseason acquisition of Tee Higgins. So it was reported about 4 or 5 days ago now that the Chiefs were the favorites to land Tee Higgins should he not sign with the Bengals in the offseason, which is not looking very likely, along with if he doesn't get traded this year. And the Chiefs, they're the favorite, 3-1 plus 300. They're going to be the favorites right now. Behind them, you have the Patriots. A couple other teams around there could be the favorites as well. But the main one, the Chiefs. And I like this because of the stat sheet that Tee Higgins has had. Now, he's kind of, with Cincinnati, a wide receiver 1.5. He's not wide receiver 1, but he's definitely not wide receiver 2 because him and Jamar Chase kind of share the workload. But a 1,000-yard receiver last year, only had 7 touchdowns, which seems like a decent amount. But again, he had 2 already this year in 1 game, or 2 games now. He could be a guy that could really kind of bump up this team. So I think I'm going to start with this and just base it off that I would love to add to. I think that would be a great addition. Now, do I want to wait all the way to the offseason for that? Well, I don't know, because this year's wide receiver depth chart, I'm not going to say it's the best, but it's definitely not the worst. You have Kadarius Toney, you have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Sky Moore, and Rashee Rice as your wide receiver 1 through 4. And then, again, I don't like what I've seen from Richie James, but Justin Ross and Justin Watson, I've liked what I've seen from Watson, and I don't think the Chiefs have used Justin Ross more than enough because I really would want to see more use for Justin Ross. They've only got him in on a couple formations. He does have 1 catch that came in the season opener. Well, let's start out with it. Should the Chiefs trade for Tee Higgins? I know that the Chiefs are the favorites to land him in the offseason, but I think that there could be a potential package for him right now. So, should the Chiefs trade for Tee Higgins? If you think they should, then type Y for yes. If you think they shouldn't, then I want you to type in for no. My take? I'm definitely down for a trade. I would think that would be a great thing. Now, again, you have to process and you also got to pay Tee Higgins. Not only this year, you're going to have to probably try and re-up him next year. Again, if you get him in the offseason, you're going to have to pay him right there. That's a lot of money that the Chiefs don't have the cap space for at the moment, so it's going to be kind of hard to figure that out. But I think that if you make the right trade, you could work this out, and it would be really, really nice. Now, a kind of proposed trade that I've seen floating around and I like is that the Chiefs are going to trade away Richie James and a 2024 third-round pick for Tee Higgins, and that way you're going to get Richie James out of there. I don't like what I've seen from him. The only reason he was on the field, to be completely honest, in my opinion, was that he was a good punt returner. And guess what? He muffed the punt against the Jaguars. He muffed a punt. So I don't really know why he's kind of earned it here. I just think it would be nice to kind of get rid of him in some ways. I'm not a big fan of Richie James. And you get Tee Higgins added onto this. I think this would be a great trade and potential to make this team go to the next level. All right, but before we get into our next trade topic, I'll tell you about our preferred sports book preferred partner, as we're going to have BetUS. And if you do if we're going to give you a $125 deposit bonus for your first $100, which basically means you're getting a extra pizza plus an extra 25%. And if you use the chatsports.com/ChiefsBet and promo code Chiefs125, you're going to be able to get a very nice deal. And you're going to get a really good deal for your first bet. Again, $100, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus. And one thing I would use it on, well, maybe the NFL MVP. You have Patrick Mahomes, who just dropped to plus 700, and Tua Tagovailoa jumped him. So right now is the time to get in your bets. Get in there, hop in, and do that bet, because guess what? You're going to get the best odds for that right now, as that's going to be a good time to do that. Another trade acquisition idea could be Cam Akers. Now, his name has been mentioned in trade topics, but I don't know if the Chiefs are necessarily interested. So here's kind of the basics around it before we get into it. So the Chiefs could be in their work looking for a running back. I don't know if they necessarily are, but we've seen before that trades can kind of just happen. Here was the tweet, though, that kind of sparked this topic. It came from Jordan Schultz, and he said, sources are that several teams have checked in with the Rams about a potential Cam Akers trade. Now, the top 4 he mentioned were the Bucs, the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Browns, but he mentioned there are other teams. So the first question I have to think is, what about a Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Cam Akers trade? The Chiefs have kind of been toying with the potential idea for trading Clyde Edwards-Helaire away. What better way to do that than trade for Cam Akers? I don't think he's exactly used properly with the Rams. He looks pretty good overall in terms of athletic ability and the way he moves around the field. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we've kind of seen how Chiefs Kingdom views him. I know some people are hard on him, but this is a pretty easy potential trade that I could see going through. The Rams, they get the running back depth they want with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and the Chiefs take Cam Akers off the hands of the Rams. There is a potential for Cam Akers to be cut, and then the Chiefs could just pick him up. But I think this would be an easy trade. You get rid of CEH, you take Cam Akers, you test out that. I think it'd be a nice time to try and see maybe what is in the bag here. Maybe Brett Veach could kind of see what's going on with that. And here's the reason why I think it might be a good idea. Because his stats, well, they're pretty decent for his career. You got 30 games, you got over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. And again, I don't think he's been used necessarily that properly with the Rams. He's had some injury issues as well. And if he can come in with the Chiefs, I think he has the potential to be a very good depth option, because that's what CEH is a depth option. Isaiah Pacheco is your clear number one. But if you have Cam Akers as your backup, well, that could open up a load of possibilities, as you never know what a new running back could be on the table. And I kind of like the play style of Cam Akers to kind of work with Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco's more of a pound it back. Akers is an agility, jump, speed type guy. I think overall that really would work well. You have Jerick McKinnon to kind of come out of the backfield and catch. You have Isaiah Pacheco, who can kind of cut upfield, get some yardage. He's got some speed, but he's more of a pound at home back, more of a kind of a bad time to compare him to, but more of a Nick Chubb style back. And then you got Cam Akers, who's all agility and speed. So I want to hear from you. Would you trade for Cam Akers? Type T for trade or type P for pass. If you think Cam Akers would be a good addition to this Chiefs squad, then type T and let me know kind of if you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire would be the right person to trade with. If you want to maybe pass on this, don't worry about it. Let's not worry about Cam Akers. Stick with what we got. And then type P for pass. I think overall, I may explore that, because CEH, again, it's been a troubled topic this year, a troubled topic over the past couple years. Why not get something in return for him? It works out for both ways. All right, we appreciate you watching today, as always. And if you want to stay with us here on the Chiefs Report, well, just subscribe, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. You're going to have our videos always right in front of you and be able to make sure you never miss another Chiefs Report video. Peace out. All right, I want to hear from you. Would you trade for Cam Akers? Type T for trade, type P for pass. We got Tim Carr, type it in P. G-Dub Will, type it in P for pass. Tony Fuentes passing on it. Wolf Panda passing on it. And then we got, Tim Carr with a T for trade. Paul Amos saying that that he wants to trade for him. Terrence saying a P for pass. HFAR Recon passing on it. I think it might be a decent trade. I don't really like CEH, and Cam Akers, he's shown time and time again. And there's a lot of people that are still very high on Cam Akers.
It's clearly splitting Chiefs Kingdom quite a bit.
There's a lot of T's and P's.
Part of the fan base, I know I'm just looking at the chat, Wolf Panda is one of those guys, is talking about CEH's play to start this season compared to past years, because, realistically, he's been that number 2 back, it feels like, from a groundwork perspective, more so than Jerick McKinnon. The stats, 7 carries for 22 yards, 3.1 yards per carry, don't really jump off the page at you. 3 catches for 24 yards on 3 targets. With a bigger workload, you wonder if he becomes more efficient, but at the same time, you haven't seen that from him, as he's been the workhorse back for 3 years for the most part.
Yeah, I think it's tough because, again, he has every terms of athletic ability you would like in a running back. He just hasn't shown it. And
I think we're very much on the same page that he just needs a fresh start.
Correct, and that's why I think the Chiefs
his future isn't in Kansas City.
No, you mean Rams, Los Angeles.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about CEH in particular. His future's not in Kansas City.
No,
and that's been. I think we both agree on that, and
I think it's almost for Cam Akers. I think it's the same way. I think he just needs a restart too.
Exactly.
It kind of, like I said, it's a perfect flip flop, because both of these guys have the ability to be a top-tier back. But I just don't think they have been. And overall, it may be a good way to kind of make a fresh start for both of these guys. And I'm not going to lie, CEH, like you said, he was more of a second-string back. Well, now McKinnon has been a second-string back for a lot of that time. And to be quite honest, it's Isaiah Pacheco and then the rest. It's not really like there's a 3 workhorse back. Because last year, it was Jerick McKinnon, it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it was Isaiah Pacheco. It was all 3 of them. This year, it is Isaiah Pacheco and friends. That's what it is.
It's Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon on passing downs.
Yeah,
for the most part.
But even then, I mean, Jerick McKinnon in the game against the Jaguars, I mean, he was in there a lot, but even on passing downs, but he didn't really see a lot of action. He was there. He didn't really, no targets. So that'll be interesting to kind of see what happens. I don't necessarily know if Brett Veach will go after it, though, because it's kind of an interesting subject. But what I think he should go after, it's Tee Higgins. So let's ask it again. Kind of gone through it now. Should the Chiefs trade for Tee Higgins again? Remember the money issue. There is something in that, but I know that Brett Veach, I know the Chiefs, they could work it out. Andy Reid would find a way. So type Y for yes, type in for no, get in the chat, and maybe give me a reason why, because I think there's a very good portion of talking that we could do with this subject, because we've kind of seen it. The wide receivers aren't the best. They're not the worst by any chance. Not the worst at all. But they could use a one. They could use a wide receiver one. They got some Ys coming in, DJ, Tony Fuentes, and Paul Amos, along with Travis the Red. An in from Tim Carr. Wolf Panda saying Y for yes. Looks like Jacob says he wants Higgins. David Fitzgerald saying the Y for yes. Question mark with the Y for yes. Rajul with the Y for yes. CD along right there saying Y for yes. Tee Higgins could be wide receiver. He could be. I mean, it's funny because he's with Jamar Chase, and yet he still is proving a wide receiver one ability. It's kind of funny as it really could. He's wide receiver 1.5 there with the Bengals.
I was going to say, Tee Higgins would be wide receiver 1 on 60 to 75% of NFL rosters.
I would almost say
like
80.
You count the receivers that are maybe better than him. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, like
Stephen
the obvious ones there. But, the Giants, he's better than all of their receivers, maybe combined.
I would almost think that the only teams that he would not be the wide receiver 1 on, and it'd be close for this one, the Lions, the team he's on now, the Bengals, I think...
I'd say
the Dolphins,
Cowboys and Eagles with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith for Philly, and then CD. CD's number 1 in Dallas.
Yeah, see, I know you're an OU guy, but I think Tee Higgins is better than CD Lamb. I think, okay, I'll say this. If Tee Higgins went to Dallas, it'd be the same situation as he is with Bengals. He'd be 1.5.
I think that's fair. Okay. That's definitely fair.
Because he's not I don't know if he'd be necessarily the clear one, but he's not going to be 2.
The Cowboys would have, the teams had more invested in him.
Correct, exactly. So I think there's few teams that we would actually have to basically kind of all that stuff. So
yeah, here, I'll get some more shout-outs right now while that gets handled. Y for yes, N for no in the chat. Let us know what you think. Let me get myself on screen. Get some face in. A little FaceTime today. Y for yes, N for no. Get your shout-outs in. Get your questions in later on in the show. Mailbag coming after this segment, so use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. I see Tony Fuentes saying Y, Dale Webb Jr., Ellery Jackson all saying Y, Tim Carr saying N. And, the financial side of things does play a factor. Tee Higgins is going to get paid. He may even wind up, working his way into the list of top 10 highest paid wide receivers this offseason because he's that talented. He's that talented, and I personally think there may be a little bit of a factor in terms of Jamar Chase takes so much attention that Tee Higgins is able to get more open looks and usually is taking on that second cornerback. But the guy's a damn good football player. There's no question about it. Y for yes, N for no. Get in the comments and let us know. Up next, Chiefs versus
why did that
Bears
rhyme?
Preview.
Y for yes, N for no. Get in the comments and let us know.
I didn't even plan that one. I just rhymed it off the top of the dome.
I was about to say, dang. Man.
I guess that's just what makes me. Chiefs versus Bears preview right around the corner. As the Chiefs try and get to 2-1, get a little win streak going. They're going up against a Bears team that's reeling right now. There's no question around it. They're 0-2. They lost to, I think, 2 below average teams, and that's coming from the biggest Baker Mayfield fan in the room, maybe. Yeah. Chiefs trade for either Tee Higgins or Mike Evans from Dale Webb Jr. They're both going to be both going to be free agents this offseason. So it's certainly not the worst idea in the world for Mike Evans. But considering the Bucs start, I don't know that you necessarily want to trade away Mike Evans if you're the Bucs. You kind of figure out what you got in this team, and so far they've been off to a good start. So you can't necessarily blame them either there. I want to get another quick question here before we move into our next segment. Who is your favorite Chiefs player of all time? Let us know in the comments. Who's your favorite Chiefs player ever? Patrick Mahomes is the easy answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
But try and get creative with it. Get in the comments section. Let us know. Matt Castle from Tony Fuentes. That's definitely outside the box. That's quite the answer that we're looking for there. Really trying to see who the real Chiefs fans are. Who's going to list a Chiefs player from the 70s?
You want to challenge something? I had a challenge on here on the Chiefs report a couple days ago, and I showed a big running back with the number 35. If you're a real one, do you remember the challenge? Do you remember the picture? And can you tell me who that big number 35 running back is? He has a nickname too, not from America. So let's see if we got anything. We got Tim Carr saying Lynn Dawson. Anybody know who that running back is? Christian Okoye. Casey's got it. There you go. Darren has got it with Okoye. So everybody's got it in there. Nigerian Nightmare. There it is, Tim Carr. There it is. He's my favorite player. I don't know why. Those big shoulder pads back in the days, oh boy, he wore them best. He wore them the best by far. It was so fun to watch. Just kind of those highlights, obviously a little too young for seeing his prime, but man, that dude, he was Bo Jackson before Bo Jackson. I got to be quite honest. So pretty cool though, but Kimball Anders, says Darren Rogers. I don't even know who that is.
See, that's the type of answer I was looking for. I've never heard the name Kimball Anders in my life. It could be a fake name for all we know. I'm guessing it's not, but I want to look him up now just to find out.
Look it up.
Kimball Anders. Fullback in the late 90s? In the 90s for the Chiefs?
Yeah, I guess so.
I love a good 90s fullback. Neck roll, willing to run through you, literally and physically and metaphorically. Those are the best.
All right, let's dive into the second segment for today, as we're going to talk Bears preview. Chiefs taking on the Bears for the Week 3 matchup in Arrowhead. Let's get into it right now. What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into the show today as you're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews, and we got a good show for you today previewing the Chiefs and the Bears, as we're going to go through 3 parts. First one, we're going to take a deep dive into the Chicago Bears. Then I'm going to give you my keys to victory based off what we've talked about and the Chicago Bears, what they're good at, what they're not good at. Hint, there's a lot they're not good at. And then finally, I'm going to give you my score prediction for the Chiefs and the Bears game on Sunday at 3:25 kickoff, which we will be live for, so make sure you join us on our live watch party. We'll be going live about 30-45 minutes before kick, so around 2:40 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you join us, and yeah, let's get into it. But before we get to the deep dive of the Bears, I want you to start off without any knowledge, before we go into this, before we talk about what the Bears are good at, what the Chiefs are good at, before we talk about any of this, I want you to get in the comments and type KC if you think the Chiefs are going to win this game. If you think the Bears are going to win this game, I want you to type CHI. So if you got the Chiefs, again, type KC. If you got the Bears, type CHI. I want to see a lot of KCs because I would be quite honest with you. The Bears, they're struggling, and that's putting it lightly. They suck. They're very bad. They're not good at football, and that's just the way it is. It's tough, but that's how it goes, and I'm excited for the Chiefs to hopefully get I'm going to call it a tune-up game in some ways, and there's no reason that they can't do that against the Bears, especially when they're 12.5-point favorites at home. Now, the over-under being at 47.5 is quite interesting, but I think that the Chiefs could easily go in here and make this game kind of hey, we're Chiefs. We are the Chiefs. We're coming in here. We're taking over, and we're going to be the guys to run the AFC and show an NFC team why the AFC is better. Let's start with this Bears dive in here, as the Bears are 0-2. Mentioned they are not very good at football right now. Lost in Week 1 to the Packers with Jordan Love. Lost this past week in Week 2 to the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield with some rough play from Justin Fields. Coach Matt Eberflus is not the greatest at calling plays, it seems, as around the Chart Sports office, the Bears are one of the struggling teams in the entire National Football League. Now, they've scored 37 points, but they've given up 65 points. And let's just say that 65 points given up will hopefully be a lot higher after this weekend. All right, I need you to like the video if you want the Chiefs to beat the Bears, because it's a proven fact that if you like the video, well, then the Chiefs are going to play better on Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays, whenever they play. They're going to play better. So make sure you like this video, hit that little like button. Plus, it helps out the channel, and it helps out the Chiefs. All right, let's go a little bit more into this Bears team. Now, more on the yardage side of things, they've allowed 748 yards to their opponents, and they've given up the second most points per game in the NFL at 32.5. Now, the opponent's QBR, well, it's 118.3. That's insanely high. Insanely high. I don't really get it. And let's just kind of go back and take a look at last week, because last week was the epitome of Bears football. Justin Fields had 2 interceptions, and he looked bad. He looked terrible. There was multiple videos of him missing wide open wide receivers and instead taking sacks. Khalil Herbert has not been all that he's been planned out to be with 35 yards. Roschon Johnson has been the better back, in all honesty. DJ Moore, he had 104 yards last week, but goodness, he could be used a lot better. And Baker Mayfield, listen, he's a good quarterback, but that team putting up 27 points, I don't know about that. I don't know about that any days. That's just a tough way to go. And the Bears, well, I don't think that's going to get any easier for them with this Chiefs game. And I hope it doesn't get easier for them, because they need to get beat down. Now let's look at the key players on the Bears team. I mentioned 2 of them already, Justin Fields, DJ Moore. Well, there's also on the defensive side, TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Now, the only 2 of these 5 guys that you see that were on the team last year was Justin Fields and Cole Kmet. And guess what? Justin Fields, he hadn't been doing too well this year. 40 for 66, 427, 2 touchdowns, and the big thing, 3 interceptions. He's also fumbled the ball a couple times, but luckily for him at least, he's been able to get the ball back. Now, there are 2 question marks in terms of injuries. Now, first one is Darnell Mooney. You noticed he wasn't listed on the key players, and he wasn't on the stat sheet for last week. That's because he didn't play. He has a knee injury, and I think from what I'm hearing, he will be in line to play on Sunday against the Chiefs. But one guy who is not likely to play, that's going to be Eddie Jackson. You see Eddie Jackson, big guy coming in here, and he's probably not going to play with that shoulder injury. He's going to be a tough round for that safety. It's just, I don't really know if we're going to see Eddie Jackson, and that kind of helps with the Chiefs' offense is going to cause some move-arounds in that safety position. So with that being said, with this defense not being the greatest, how many points do you expect from the Chiefs on Sunday? Because I'm leaning around the 30 to 38 points. I'm leaning to at least that, because I don't understand how you could not put up more points than the Buccaneers or the Packers. Which the Buccaneers, they scored 27. So I'm thinking at least 27 points against the Bears. You're at home too. You're in Arrowhead. And that kind of leads me into the first little bit here, as I want you to get in the chat and tell me those scores. But hammer the Bears defense in my first key to victory. We're going for my 4 keys here. You got to hammer this Bears defense. You got to, because their defense is not good. And it's time for Mahomes to have a field day. He's kind of been kept in check in terms of necessarily getting the scoring going. Yardage-wise, well, he's been right on key with everything he's been doing. But he just got a payday. Let's go out there and use it for good. Don't be like Joe Burrow and all of a sudden suck. Get that payday and become even better. Now, the second key to victory I have is to feed off the Arrowhead crowd. You're at home. You lost the first home game, the season opener. Use this stadium. That's going to be packed just like this. Take it in. Use that energy and unleash it on the field. Unleash it on there, because I know Arrowhead's going to be rocking. It's a 3:25 kick. It's a perfect time for families to go, for everybody to be there. It's going to be packed. Get in there. go and use it to your advantage. Feed off the energy and really just start rocking the Bears. Now, going along with this, I want to know if you've ever attended a game at Arrowhead Stadium, because for me, I've been to Arrowhead Stadium, but I've never actually attended a game there. So if you have, type me in the comment section down below. I want you, again, if you've been to a game at Arrowhead Stadium, then type me. Let's go to my third key to victory, and that's make Fields uncomfortable. It's no secret that Fields had a tough 2023 season to start in the first 2 games, and he has struggled mightily. His QBR sits at about 28.3. That's not good, along with the 3 interceptions he's put together. I mean, Justin Fields, it may be his last season in Chicago. Everybody was high on him. Last year, he was doing a lot in terms of fantasy points, but people now are waking up and realizing that overall, he's just not really a great quarterback. And with this, I want to use a little bit of fun. Make it unbearable for Fields. Gotcha. Make it unbearable for him, because I know that this defensive line, who has been rather impressive with or without Chris Jones, doesn't matter. You get him on Sunday. I want them to be in the backfield every single snap. Chris Jones was winning basically every time off the ball. Get in there, make Fields uncomfortable. He's going to take sacks. We saw that last week against the Buccaneers, that he literally had 2 wide open receivers and could not find them because he is being collapsed in the pocket. Do the same thing this coming Sunday, and it's going to be an easy road to victory there. And then my fourth one, I want to change this, the fourth one. It's keys to victory. I want to make this keys to beatdown. Score early and often. Keys to beatdown, score early and often right here. Yeah, you got to be that to victory, but you need to beat these guys down. You got to tune up. I don't really like beating the Jaguars 17-9 or losing to the Lions 21-20. Go in there and show them who you are. Now, the offense this year, the yards, they're really on par. 715, 531 in the air with 191 on the ground, but 37 points. It's not exactly what I thought would be the exact ratio here, along with the turnover ratio at -2. Get some turnovers in there. Make sure you're really pounding home. Fields, he's known to fumble the ball. He's known to throw it into coverage. Get out there, take the ball away. In fact, honestly, if I'm the Chiefs, if I win the toss, I'm saying give me the dang ball, and I'm going to go score right away. Just put the Bears in their cage. Come on, put them back. They don't need to be at Arrowhead Stadium. Go down, take them out, and put them to bed. That's all you need to do, and boom, bingity bop, you get the win. You're 2-1. Here's my score prediction as we start to go into it. As, again, I want to beat down. Prefacing before I kind of put it up there. My score prediction today, 38-10. 38-10. That's what I think. That's what I think. Because honestly, if you score anything less than 25 points, I will be disappointed. Disappointed. You need to go in there. You need to put up some points. And on top of which, why not keep the Bears really, really tight with those points? I think 10 is all they're going to need. That's all they're going to get with the defense and the way they've been playing. 9 points to the Jaguars. Honestly, 10 may be a little too much. Now I'm thinking about it. You give 9 points to one of the best offensive teams in the AFC. You'd get one of the worst offensive teams in the NFC. Don't let them score a touchdown. With 3 field goals again, I'll take it. Well, there's my score prediction. Get in the comments and let me know yours. Predict the score versus the Bears, as the Chiefs and the Bears will kick off at 3:25 on Sunday. We're going to have a live watch party. Make sure you join us for this. But before that, get in the comments and let me know your score prediction. I'm going to come back. I'm going to look at them after the game, so make sure you get your score prediction in there. And who knows, you could be right, and we'll kind of respond to a bunch of those, see if you get it right. So get in the comments and predict the score for the Chiefs versus Bears games, and we will see you then. All right, let's hear it. Predict the score. Predict the score, everybody, in the chat. I want to see your prediction for this Sunday's game. That's what I want to see. Get in there and let me know what you think. KC 40, Chicago 25 from DJ. See, 25 points for Chicago just seems like it would be too much. I just don't like freaking 25 points to one of the worst offensive teams in the NFL.
I'd say if you give up 25 points, that's you might need to kickstart the apocalypse in Kansas City after the first 2 games, because that's, if anything, I'd almost argue the defense has been better than the offense through 2 games.
You don't need to argue. It's true. It's 100% true. You allow 9 points to the Jaguars and 20, technically 14 points to the Lions, because 7 of those points came off the hands of Kadarius Toney. We don't need to talk about that. He's moved on from it. We won't talk about it. Casey's got it 41-6. I like that score. Maybe I should change mine to that. I like that a lot. 41-6 seems right. I don't want a touchdown from the freaking Bears. I mean, come on. They're the Bears. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. The defense this year, no lie here. They have looked top 10 in the NFL. Top 10 in the NFL. 45-13 from Charles. Tony Fuentes got KC 38. Chicago 21. Chiefs fan has 35-13. DJ got 40-0. I like that one, DJ. I think Chicago will score something. I don't know if it's going to be a nothing, a little zero bomb from the big old Bears, but I like it, definitely.
I'm rooting for it.
I would. I want it, but I just don't know if it's going to happen because, man, here's my thing. Just get up 30-0 and then put in your second stringers, and then they can score. Then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Plus, you probably already beat the freaking cover, so there's that. And you got Tony Fuentes with 38-21, and then Tim Carr with 33-14.
I think I have to stay away from Isaiah Pacheco betting. It worked.
I was going to say it worked.
It did hit, but it was a little bit of anxiety.
Why don't you just bet on Cam Akers when he comes?
I don't know if Cole is in the chat with us today.
Yeah.
Cole. I don't know how much anxiety he had compared to mine, but the fact that we had to sit there until the very last offensive play before they took a knee for his over on carries to hit.
Tough.
That's the most beautiful backdoor cover there is.
Yeah, that was so close. Well, it was funny at that point. It was like the Chiefs had, I'm not going to say won, but they basically won. And it was, all right, get this last carry, please. Please. Ended up doing it. So, yeah. We'll have to see. The game, again, 3:25 on Sunday. We're going to go live here on the Chiefs Port. We're going to have a watch party. And I believe, I don't know if I've checked it. I think Sam may be back with us on Sunday. We'll have to see.
I managed to keep my job. It is going to be me on Sunday.
Wow. All right. Man.
I know. Jace is already bummed out.
I didn't say that. I alluded to it.
Man.
I didn't say it. I alluded to it. Anyway. Yeah. All right. We're going to be live, so make sure you join us. We'll be live about 30 minutes before, but let's kind of transition in here to our third segment today, and that's going to be involving you guys. So we're going to answer your questions. It's mailbag time, as again, use hashtag Chiefs, or you can super chat to get your question answered live. If you super chat, your question is guaranteed to be answered, and you get a fast pass because you're going to be the first question answered on the stream. Again, use super chat, you get in the fast pass, or use just hashtag Chiefs.
And then you can what?
Huh?
You can get in the Quay?
Oh my gosh.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Not the Quay. You can get in the queue if you use hashtag Chiefs and have a chance to get your freaking...
So two options. You can either get in Jace's queue or my Quay, or you can super chat, and I guarantee I'll get your question on screen in 60 seconds.
Then you don't have to hear us argue about it, and you get a fast pass. How do you say fast pass?
That's fast pass.
Okay.
I've been to Six Flags.
I didn't know if it was fast pass or something like that.
Six Flags has got that trademark. I don't want to go off path.
I don't know if it's Six Flags. Well, I guess Disney gave it up because Disney did have it, and now what is it?
Wait, they have the Flash Pass.
That's what Six Flash Pass. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, again, hashtag Chiefs if you want to get in the show, and if you want to guarantee yourself to get on today's mailbag, well then super chat and we'll be guaranteed to answer it. And there you go. So with that being said, I think we got some questions. We're going to go into our third segment here, so let's get going. Let's go to Chiefs Kingdom. Before we get into today's show, I need you to subscribe because the Chiefs, well, they need your help, and one way to help them, subscribe to the Chiefs Report. It's free. You're going to get everything in one place. Chiefs news, rumors, updates, everything you need to know about the Kansas City Chiefs, all right here. And on top of it, here's what you get. You're getting free content every day. You're getting entertaining and informative videos every single day. Plus, we're having a watch party for every single Chiefs game where we're going to have fun. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be having a good time while also providing some play-by-play, getting the scoreboard going, and overall just a fun Chiefs fan environment for every game day. Plus, you're getting live shows each week. Make sure you subscribe to never miss any video and get all this free content right now today. Let's go to our first question. Comes from Shad Jameson. He says, hashtag Chiefs. Which current wide receiver would be let go if the Chiefs did Higgins or another top wide receiver? And I think it's no question here. It's Richie James. Richie James overall, the reason he's on the field is for punt returns, and I would like to say it would be him. The unfortunate part about it is the guy who has been least used is Justin Ross. So if they get Higgins, I would be a little scared that they may cut Justin Ross, which I don't think they should do. Now what they could do is they could put Justin Ross or Richie James, either of the two, on to the practice squad. So that could be one, or on top of which, it could just cut Richie James or maybe trade Richie James to the Bengals or for the other top wide receiver, Mike Evans, so everyone should talk about it. Richie James could be a part of that trade. All right, the second question here comes in from Dale Webb Jr. or DJ. Not Chiefs related, but who is your college football team? So I'm an Oklahoma State graduate, which means I am an Oklahoma State Cowboys fan, which also means I am in hell. It's not going well as we lost to South Alabama this weekend. Go Pokes. Yes. All right, this one coming in from Charles Masiosi. He said, should Kansas City trade up in the draft to get a Buckeye wide receiver? Well, I know who you're thinking about, and I don't think that the Chiefs will trade up to get a wide receiver. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to be too far gone. And overall, I just don't see the appeal in trading up for a receiver. I'd rather go out and trade for a already proven wide receiver than kind of, I'm not going to say risk on one because there's definitely some good wide receivers in this draft. And I don't think it's really worth it to go risk it, though. Our other question coming in here from Braden Perez saying, I believe Ross could be a wide receiver one, just not sure why he's getting limited snaps. Do you think he could be a one from what we've seen? I definitely think he has the ability to be a one. Will he ever be a one? I don't know. Now, I think the biggest thing he brings is speed and size, and I just don't understand why the Chiefs aren't using that to their advantage. I'd like to see him in some more sets to maybe earn his way onto the team, but it's very clear, out of the 7 wide receivers, he's wide receiver 7. I think we're just going to have to wait and see. It was reported early in the season that Andy Reid did have a formation for every single 7 of the wide receivers. We just haven't seen Ross's formation just yet, I guess. All right, another question coming in here from Loaded Guy 2 saying, will Isaiah Pacheco get more carries as the season goes on? I definitely hope so, because I think that Isaiah Pacheco was underused in the Jaguars game. He really only had 12 carries, 70 yards, though. And here's his 2023 stats. Overall, 20 carries, which you do the math there, 12 carries against the Jaguars. He only had 8 against the Lions. Now, he was dealing with a cramp that game, so that took away from some carries, but 93 yards with a long of 31. I just want to see Pacheco used more. I don't understand what's up with it. He's a pounded guy, and he doesn't have any touchdowns. Now, that kind of helps with the Chiefs not having a lot of points, but this guy, just look at him. He's so happy. Let him run the ball. Come on. Now, I've got to hear from you, though, because maybe I'm alone on this. Maybe I think that Pacheco should get more carries, and nobody else does. So, do you want to see more Pacheco? If you do, then type in for more. If you think I'm delusional and don't want to see more Pacheco, and you want the Chiefs to trade for a running back, or you want the Chiefs to use Jerick McKinnon or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, then type L for less. Again, you want to see more Pacheco, type M. You want to see less of him, well then type L in the comments, and let me know. We'll be looking at them, kind of see what Chiefs Kingdom is thinking about this topic. Let's go to some more questions here from Casey Courtney saying, let's just be honest, we need Higgins. Is this an actual rumor or just something to talk about? We need a talented number one who is reliable and can take some heat away from an aging Travis Kelce. Well, this is definitely an actual rumor. This has been talked about. The Chiefs are the number one target or number one area for Tee Higgins. Now, I will say it's been number one in the offseason, but that doesn't mean it can't be a trade. The rumors have been swirling that he would have been traded for a little bit now, especially after about a week before the season. It was talked that he and the Bengals, they don't really have a future together. So if the Bengals are smart, they're not doing well this season. They're already 0-2 if they keep going. Well, then on that case, you can then decide maybe you could take him. Now, again, the actual rumor is that the Chiefs get him in the offseason. But you could also make that a trade. I've seen that passed around, and that's definitely an actual rumor as well. One that we have clear evidence for, and an actual bet book talking about it is plus 300. So there you go for that. Let's go to a next question here from Tony Fuentes. And it's going to be, he says, I've been watching Chiefs Report for 4 years now. I've never seen better content than this plan to be here for years to come. And you plan to be here for years to come. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying content. And I'm glad as We're trying to get better content out for every single one of you every single day. So here's the hope that we can get you more and more content and better content every day. Let's go to the next question here from Travis for Press 24 saying, do you expect the offense to go off against the Bears this Sunday? Yes, 100%, because this offense, well, it only scored 37 points in the first 2 games. Now, mind you, 2 years ago in 2021, the Chiefs scored 42 points in week 1. 42 points. The Chiefs are hopefully going to get there this week. If they don't, something went very wrong. But week 1, they got 42, and it's been 2 weeks. They've gotten 37 with 20 points against the Lions, and then 17 against the Jaguars. The yardage, though, is there. The yardage is 100% there. 316 versus the Lions, almost 400 for the Jaguars. It's just really tough because overall, the yardage is there, but the scoring, well, it's not. All right, before we continue into more questions, I got to tell you about our preferred sports book partner as BetUS. And the best thing about it is if you use chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus if you use the promo code Chiefs125 as well. Again, a 125% deposit bonus when you use $100. So kind of comparing that to food. You buy 1 pizza, you get 2 plus a little extra on top of it. It's a really good deal. And maybe you want to do it this weekend because there's some good bets on the Chiefs and Bears game. You got the Chiefs favored at 12.5 and the over-under being at 47.5. I may stay away from the over-under just because of the Chiefs offense this year, but I'm taking the Chiefs at 12.5 every single day. I mean, this Chiefs team is ready to blow up and absolutely go off on offense. I think they could do it this weekend against the Bears. Maybe look at this bet right here, 12.5. It's be a good one right now. Take it now because it may go up, may go down. We'll have to see, but either way, I think that's a good one. Use BetUS, and again, use the code chatsports.com/ChiefsBet and promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% credit deposit bonus. All right, let's jump it back into some more questions. As Michael Thomas, he says, how is Kelce's knee? Well, from what I've heard, he is good because overall, I think he's looked pretty on top of things when it comes to the knee. Now, he got injured 2 weeks ago, but he said, I'm feeling 22, and he said it best. He found a blank space in the end zone for the touchdown pass, and whenever he plays, sparks fly. He's just the man. I know he's ready. He's all mine. Let's go to another question. Tim Carr says, how likely is Chris Jones to resign? Right now, I don't know about that because money situation is there. I don't know if the Chiefs would even franchise tag him. The money cap space for that would be overall an insane way to give away that money. I just don't know if that's likely right now, unfortunately. The next question comes in from Chief Marcus, and he says, do you think there will be some trade potential with the Browns after Chubb injury? Maybe CEH. The Browns and the Chiefs receive Cooper or a tackle. Well, I'll tell you right now, the Chiefs will not receive Amari Cooper for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Maybe a tackle. That could be definitely in line as, again, that's something easy you could trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I have to say, I don't think that the Browns, in terms of what they're going for this season, are going to look to CEH for their main back. I would have to think they may go around, look somewhere else. I don't know if I see a potential trade there just because there's not really much that the Browns have to offer, and CEH doesn't seem like a guy that the Browns would be interested. Another question comes in from DJ or Dale Webb Jr. saying, keep Noah Gray or trade him. Keep him. 100% keep him. I don't know why this has been a rumor. I know it's been talked about to trade Noah Gray, go out there, find another backup tight end. I don't like it. Noah Gray has proven himself well. He's liked by the entire Chiefs coaching staff. There's just really no reason that you have to trade Noah Gray. There's no reason. I like him. You could use him in that depth spot, so there's no reason to trade him. The next question comes in from Rumbling Ricky. He says, can Felix Aduke Uzoma be a force at the defensive end in the future? I think he can. I think he can because he looked really good against the Jaguars. He did. I'm going to start with that because against Jacksonville, FAU had a half sack, a forced fumble, and he was flying around the field. He had one point where he was about literally a couple seconds away from tackling Trevor Lawrence in the end zone, resulting in a safety. He looks really good when he's on the field. I think he's still young. He's still learning the plays and the offense, the defense rather, and just the entirety of being an NFL player. It's a lot coming from a college, especially, and this is not to dog on Kansas State, but he's a hometown guy. And it's kind of hard to play in front of your hometown fans. It puts a little extra pressure on it. I think he's got the ability, though, and I like what I've seen from him so far. I think he could be the guy. So he could be the guy in the future. Maybe the guy that replaces that Chris Jones type player. Now, I've said what I need to say. I think that I need to open this up to discussion to you. Do you like what you've seen from FAU so far? If you do, then type Y for yes. If you think, nah, I got to see more from him, then type in for no. Again, we haven't seen much of him, but if you like what you've seen from him, then type Y for yes. And if you think I need to see more, then type in for no. Let's continue on with some questions. This one comes from a Chiefs fan. He says, do you think Leo freaking Chenal will get his first sack of the season against the Bears? I don't know. And that's not to say that he is not good enough to get a sack. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to play that way this weekend. I think they're going to really try and test their defensive line, just for the simple fact that overall, you have proof that the Bears' offensive line is not good. So why not let your D-line test it out? I expect very, very, very little blitzes, and that would result in Leo Chenal not getting a lot of sacks or potential sacks. Now moving on to another question here from Braden Perez. He said, should we explore a trade for Kyle Pitts since he is underutilized with the Falcons? So I've seen this floating around social media, especially on Twitter, that the Chiefs need to go out and get Kyle Pitts out of a horrible situation in Atlanta. And I will say this. Is Kyle Pitts underused? 100%. Are the Chiefs going to go trade for Kyle Pitts when they have Travis Kelce and Noah Gray right now? No. That's it. It's just not going to do it. I don't get that really. It makes no sense. I'd rather go draft a tight end in this year's upcoming draft. I think that's maybe the better option instead of trading for Kyle Pitts. Another question coming in here from Tin Car saying, can we trade Taylor Swift for anybody else? I don't know if anybody's buying on that, unfortunately. Who are you wanting to trade Kelsey's girlfriend, Taylor Swift? Or are you do you want to trade Taylor Swift to a different team and get somebody in return? Because we could trade Taylor Swift for somebody. I don't know. I bet you, I guarantee you, we could trade Taylor Swift for a bunch of coaches in this league that people don't like. But who knows? Maybe sparks will fly. All right, make sure you subscribe to the Chiefs Report. We're putting out content every single day. We appreciate you all you watching as per usual. Again, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. And make sure you turn off those notifications as well so you never miss a single Chiefs Report video. Peace out. All right, who you got? Get in the chat. We've kind of gone through it all today. I want you to get in the chat one last time. Type KC for Kansas City. Type CHI for Chicago. Tony Fuentes and DJ going in there with the KCs. Paul Amos with KC. Tim Carr says, shout out Harrison. Shout out Harrison. Missed the guy. He's still here, but, in our hearts. Question mark says KC. Got Tim Carr coming in with KC. Everybody's putting them in. I think KC is going to be easy. Spam it. I want to see it spam. Charles with KC. Stephen B with KC. I love it. I think Kansas City is going to win by, again, I think a lot. This cannot be a close game, bro. This cannot. If it is, something's wrong. Either the Chiefs are playing down to their opponent or something went horribly wrong. And I don't want either of those things to happen. Now that Mahomes has gotten paid big money, will that lower cap? Yes, to put it lightly. Not this year. This year be fine. Next coming years, the cap space will be rough. Let's put it that way. From Chicago, now in KC, go Red Kingdom, says Stephen B. Go Red Kingdom, man. Appreciate you joining the live show today. Again, appreciate you. We're going to be doing this every single week, so make sure you're joining us each week. We'll be live on Tuesdays. We're going to shoot for around 3 o'clock each of those days, and just make sure you join us. And if you want, share it to people, share it to friends, get other people in here. We're going to have a better time with the more Chiefs Report family. And on top of which, make sure you share it to them and tell them to subscribe too. If you're not already subscribed, you should subscribe as well. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. We're going to have a watch party this weekend, just like every single game. We're putting out videos every single day. every single day, including one today, one tomorrow, the next day, every single day. You're always going to get Chiefs content. Don't be the guy that doesn't know about the Chiefs and work. You want to be the guy that goes in there and be like, hey, you saw the game? Oh, yeah, I watched the Chiefs report. I have an in-depth review over everything. It's what you get here. So make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Again, appreciate all of you for joining us on today's live show. We're having it every single week, but appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next video. Again, appreciate you, and peace out.